Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy. She said, were you intimate with Tory Lanez? And she said, what? And then it was like, no. And I was like, she's lying. At that point, I knew she's lying. There wouldn't be no reason for me to be around each other.
You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Rock Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
50 Cent just dropped some jaw-dropping receipts showing Jay-Z might be the one secretly tied to Tory Lanez's wild prison stabbing. Yep, you heard that right. Tory got stabbed 14 times behind bars just a few days ago. It looked like some random jailhouse beef at first, but now, it's looking way deeper than that. According to 50, Jay-Z allegedly set it all up to protect Megan Thee Stallion and keep her name clean in the industry. Why would Jay even do that? Well, some brand new evidence just leaked, and it's making people question if Tory was actually guilty of shooting Megan in the first place. It's starting to look like he may have been sent away for something he didn't even do. And now this stabbing? This ain't no coincidence. It's starting to feel like someone wants him silenced for good. This whole Megan and Tory saga just won't quit. Every time it starts to fade out, boom, something even messier crashes in. And now, Tory getting nearly taken out in prison? That's a whole new level of insane. It's like this drama's got 9 lives. Reports say Tory was out in the prison yard at the California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi early Monday when another inmate ran up and stabbed him real bad. Multiple sources, including someone from law enforcement, say he had to be rushed for medical treatment. This wasn't just a scrape. This was serious. This situation is spinning out of control. And now with 50 pointing fingers at Jay-Z, things might be about to get way uglier. The reason behind the attack is still a mystery, but one insider spilled that Tory was rushed by ambulance to a civilian hospital in Bakersfield after it all went down. Reports say the stabbing happened in a housing unit at California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi around 7:20 a.m. As soon as it popped off, staff jumped into action, gave him emergency aid, and dialed 911 right away. He was taken straight to an outside hospital for critical treatment.
2 days after that, I get a call from Rock Nation that says, yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement.
Then things got even more intense when Tory's team dropped an official statement on his Instagram. He was stabbed 17 times. Yeah, 17. The breakdown? 7 in the back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the back of his head, 1 to the left side of his face, and get this, both his lungs collapsed. He had to be put on a breathing machine just to survive. But somehow, despite all that, he's now breathing on his own again. He's talking normal, still in pain, but staying positive. He's keeping his faith strong and thanking God for pulling him through this nightmare. He also sent love to all his supporters who kept him in their prayers through the madness. But not everybody's showing sympathy. Some folks online were cold. One person tweeted, "People feeling sorry for Tory Lanez is so funny. Just know that him being stabbed does not compare to him shooting Megan. She could have lost her life that night if the bullet hit somewhere else. I don't feel bad at all for that creature." Still, 50 Cent isn't buying that this was just another jail brawl gone sideways. He's doubling down. This wasn't random. This was planned. According to 50 Cent, this wasn't some random scuffle. This was a straight-up targeted hit. And the guy who stabbed Tory? Yeah, he's no lightweight. Reports say the attacker is a hardcore inmate named Santino Casio, and this dude's got one of the darkest rap sheets you'll ever see. He's already locked up for some of the most serious crimes out there. Casio, 42, is doing life in prison with a shot at parole, and now he's under investigation for allegedly attacking Tory inside a housing unit at California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi. His criminal history? Wild. He was first sentenced back in 2004 for second-degree murder, attempted first-degree using a deadly weapon, and causing severe bodily harm. This dude's been deep in the system for years, And with that kind of record and all the time he's got left, it wouldn't take much to convince him to take someone out on the inside. Thankfully, the whole thing didn't go as planned. Even though Tory was badly hurt, the hit was botched, and he's still alive. But it raises a big question. Why now? The trial's over. Tory lost the appeal, and everything seemed done and dusted. So what's the point of trying to silence him now?
So worry about it. Yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie?
Word is Jay-Z allegedly wanted Tory gone to protect Megan. Some new info just surfaced that could totally flip the whole case on its head. And it might put Megan in a super awkward spot publicly. Let's rewind for a sec. The night Megan got shot, there were 4 people in the car: Tory, Megan, her best friend Kelsey, and a bodyguard. But during the trial, that bodyguard went ghost, like vanished. No testimony, nothing. Well, guess what? That silence didn't last forever. Now it looks like his conscience finally caught up with him and he's ready to speak. He's stepping up to tell the real story, and according to sources, he's saying allegedly, Tory never shot Megan because it was Kelsey who pulled the trigger. According to TMZ, Tory's lawyers are saying that a bodyguard named Bradley James overheard Kelsey straight up confessing to firing the gun that hit Megan. James claims he heard her admit she shot the gun 3 times, and when Tory tried to stop her by grabbing her arm, the weapon went off 2 more times by accident. And here's where it gets even crazier. During the trial, an eyewitness named Sean Kelly testified that he saw 2 women fighting before someone stepped in to break it up. That matches exactly with this new version of events. It's all starting to line up now. But it's not just this one piece of info that's raising eyebrows. A bunch of people are calling out how messed up the whole trial was from the jump. Gianno Caldwell, a contributor for the New York Post, blasted former LA County DA George Gascon, accusing him of railroading Tory during the trial and misusing gun enhancement charges just to paint him as a violent threat. Political strategist Diana Blade backed up the theory that there's a much bigger agenda going on. She even compared Tory's case to the Menendez brothers, who admitted to killing their parents and now might be getting out. Diana pointed out how there was no forensic proof connecting Tory to the weapon, and that the chance of his DNA being on that gun was only 0.001%. Now, 50 Cent is saying this whole situation reeks of a setup. He's not buying for 1 second that Tory getting stabbed was just a random prison incident. And when you really think about it, it's wild timing. How is it that someone tried to take him out just hours before brand new evidence drops that could totally clear his name? This ain't no coincidence. It's looking more like a cover-up. Yeah, 50 Cent's not buying any of it. But let's be clear, this ain't about calling Megan a liar or saying she set Tory up. Let's not forget she was actually walking away from the car when she got hit. From her point of view, it would have been impossible to know exactly who pulled the trigger. And considering she had just been arguing with Tory moments before, it makes sense why she'd think he was the one who did it. Plus, Megan and Kelsey had been super close for years, best friends. So why would Megan ever suspect her own girl of doing something that wild? She had no reason to believe anyone but Tory was behind it, especially in the heat of the moment. Also, Megan never even pressed charges herself. The state brought the case, not her.
We had to come kill the streets for 5 minutes.
You said what? I gotta switch up the music, the PD just came right.
Tori, don't get my phone wet.
And right after the incident, she didn't even say who shot her. When the cops showed up, she told them she stepped on broken glass instead of saying anything about a bullet. It wasn't until later, after Tory's team allegedly started pushing out false stories about her, that things exploded. That's when Megan had finally had enough. She hopped on Instagram Live and spilled her side, saying Tory was the one who shot her. That moment right there, that's when the whole thing blew up. From there, the rumors started flying. Word on the street is, Jay-Z allegedly stepped in and started pulling strings behind the scenes to protect Megan, who, by the way, is signed to Roc Nation. And Tory? He didn't stay quiet either. He claimed someone from Roc Nation threatened him, told him to shut up and not speak on the case at all. So now with all these new pieces popping up and 50 stirring the pot, people are starting to wonder, was there more to this story all along? Because it's looking real messy behind the scenes. But Tory didn't just sit back. He clapped right back with his own version of what went down. He denied ever shooting Megan and spilled a whole different side to the story. According to him, the real chaos started when Kelsey, who he was supposedly dating at the time, found out that he and Megan had been secretly hooking up behind her back. And here's the wild part. Tory says Megan knew exactly what was going on the whole time. He claimed that once Kelsey figured it all out, she wasn't even mad at him. She was furious with Megan. That's when all hell broke loose. A huge blow-up started in the car. Everybody was screaming and fighting and things spiraled out of control, ending with Megan getting shot. But Megan's fans? They weren't having none of that. Social media lit up like wildfire. People took sides fast, and the whole internet turned into a war zone over who was telling the truth. Tory's story clashed hard with Megan's, and things just got messier by the day. He even tweeted some shady stuff, saying, "Good D had me messing with 2 best friends, and I got caught. That's what I apologized for. It's sick how you spun it, though." That tweet had the internet in shambles. People were like, is he serious right now? After Megan publicly said Tory was the shooter, everything went next level. Tory got arrested, but he didn't sit in jail long. He was released on a $350,000 bail. But the court made it real clear. No talking about the case, no slick comments, and absolutely no contact with Megan at all. At this point, it was beyond just drama. It was turning into a full-blown legal mess that had the whole world watching. But way before this even hit the courtroom, Megan was already under fire, and it got ugly fast. The internet flipped on her, calling her a liar and accusing her of trying to destroy Tory's whole career. And it wasn't just a couple haters in the comments. This backlash was loud and non-stop, coming from every direction. Social media turned savage real quick. Even some of her own fans started switching sides. And people in the music industry, some of them threw straight-up shade at her. Artists like Drake even snuck in lyrics that made it seem like she was lying about the whole thing. It was like everybody suddenly wanted to question her story.
I just stood here in this Los Angeles County and witnessed the worst miscarriage of justice that this world has ever seen. You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it. The only independent witness in this courtroom is a man whose name is Sean Kelly. He came to court, and our attorneys, he would not even shake their hand after he went upstairs with Kathy Tall and Alex Bott.
They met on Saturday before. They
met with our witness.
Megan finally spoke out in an interview, and what she said hit hard. She admitted, "In some kind of way, I became the villain. I don't know if people don't take it seriously because I seem strong." She opened up about how she was struggling behind the scenes every single day, just trying to hold it together. "I feel so bad because I don't feel like anybody's taking me seriously. But I don't want them to see me cry. I don't want them to know that I feel like this. Because I don't want them to feel like, oh, I got you. Oh, I'm breaking you." It was raw, real, and heartbreaking. She also didn't hold back about what she wanted to happen to Tory. "I want him to go to jail. I want him to go under the jail." Her words were full of pain and fire. But by the time the trial officially kicked off in December 2022, everything was already a straight-up circus. The courtroom didn't need cameras. This drama played out like a real-life soap opera. And Tory's legal team? They came in swinging. They weren't just defending. They were on attack mode, going at Megan with everything they had. Let's be real. This was never going to be a clean fight. Megan's personal life got picked apart in that courtroom, even without cameras rolling. Details were leaking everywhere, and the public still got a front row seat to all the drama. Tory's defense didn't seem focused on proving he was innocent. Instead, it looked like their whole game plan was to tear Megan down by any means necessary. They tried flipping the script, pushing the idea that Megan was acting out of jealousy over whatever was going on between Tory and Kelsey. Then they really took it low, throwing out shady claims about Megan allegedly messing with multiple men in the industry, clearly trying to shame her and crush her public image. Tory's team wasn't letting up. They brought Kelsey in as a key witness, hoping her testimony would tilt things in their favor. Now, Kelsey and Megan used to be super tight, but their friendship blew up after the shooting, so when Kelsey took the stand, people were waiting for bombshells, and she delivered. She dropped a surprise saying that Kylie Jenner only invited her and Megan to that infamous party. And it was actually Megan who brought Tory along. That little twist had people side-eyeing everything. But despite all the defense's efforts, Tory was eventually found guilty. And that's when the accusations started flying even harder. Suddenly, Jay-Z's name got pulled right into the middle of it. Tory's dad, who had been loud throughout the case, completely lost it outside the courthouse. He went off in a full-blown rant, accusing Jay-Z and Roc Nation of using their influence to sway the entire trial. He didn't hold back either. He claimed Jay-Z played a direct role in making sure Tory got that guilty verdict. Said the whole system was rigged and that powerful people were moving in the shadows to take his son down. At that point, it wasn't just about the shooting anymore. It was about power, reputation, and control, and who was really pulling the strings behind the scenes. Tory's dad was not holding back at all. He took it to the next level, accusing Jay-Z of straight-up buying off a witness, specifically Sean Kelly. He claimed that after Sean allegedly met with some folks connected to Roc Nation, everything changed. Sean had originally given statements that actually helped Tory's case, but according to Tory's dad, Sean's attitude flipped out of nowhere. Now he's saying Sean was either pressured, influenced, or maybe even paid off to switch up his story. That's a bold accusation, but it added even more heat to a situation that was already on fire. Tory's camp kept insisting that this whole case wasn't as cut and dry as it looked. They were basically screaming that there was way more happening behind the curtain, alleging that Jay-Z and Roc Nation were pulling strings from the shadows to protect Megan and control the outcome of the trial. And all that just made things feel even more twisted and intense. In the end, Tory was hit with a 10-year prison sentence. But his dad? He still wouldn't back down. He's convinced Jay-Z was the puppet master from the very beginning, calling shots from behind the scenes to make sure Tory went down. Why? Because in his eyes, Jay-Z's main mission was to protect Megan Thee Stallion, who's signed to Roc Nation and bringing in major money. Tory's dad painted it like this: Megan's career is an investment for Jay-Z, and he wasn't about to let that get ruined. And there's another twist. Jay-Z once tried to sign Tory, but Tory turned him down, making it very clear that he wasn't trying to sell his soul. That rejection? Tory's dad believes it made him a target, and now he's saying everything that followed, from the case to the verdict, was part of a plan to make Tory pay for saying no to the wrong people. If you know anything about how the music industry really moves, then you can probably read between the lines on this one. Tory's dad is convinced that Jay-Z took Tory rejecting his label offer super personal and held on to that grudge in a way that kicked off this entire mess. And guess what? 50 Cent seems to believe it too. He's been dropping hints that Jay-Z might have even tried to go as far as having Tory taken out permanently. That's a heavy accusation, but knowing 50, he doesn't throw shade lightly. This isn't even the first time 50 has accused Jay-Z of pulling shady power plays. He said before that Jay-Z acts like he's some untouchable god in the industry. In 50's words, he's got a king complex. He thinks he's effing Jesus. You know what I mean? This Jehovah-ish, I'm just watching him. He even called Jay out for dropping slick subliminal shots instead of just being real. That's the punk way to do things, 50 said. But while all this was going on, Megan wasn't staying silent either. She's got a restraining order in place against Tory, and her legal team claimed that even behind bars, Tory was still finding ways to harass and bully her. According to her lawyers, Tory had been using third-party bloggers to go after her online, basically spreading false and damaging stories about her while he sat in prison. One of those bloggers, Elizabeth Milagro Cooper, was allegedly publishing wild claims about Meghan and the whole trial. It got so serious that Meghan hit her with a civil lawsuit, Meghan Pete vs. Milagro Elizabeth Cooper, which is now playing out in federal court down in the Southern District of Florida. So, yeah, even with Tory locked up, this storm is far from over. The courtroom battles, the online attacks, the industry power plays, this story's still unfolding with no signs of slowing down. The lawsuit spelled it out loud and clear. In the amended complaint, Meghan's team claimed that Milagro Cooper is basically acting as Tory's personal puppet and mouthpiece. They say she's out here spreading his message while he's locked up, trying to tear Meghan down piece by piece. They even included receipts. Tory publicly tweeted, calling Milagro Grams the realist, and that tweet is filed in court as Exhibit 2. But that's not all. A former close friend of Milagro, King Noir, also came forward and spilled even more tea. He confirmed that she was working closely with Tory and his dad, intentionally trying to smear Meghan's name. Court docs say his comments were detailed in an article that's now filed as Exhibit 3 in the case. King Noir didn't hold back either. He said Milagro has straight-up disdain for Meghan and has been feeding info to the press, info that allegedly came directly from Tory Peterson himself. That includes convos between her and Tory's dad, supposedly designed to leak insider info to bloggers to shift the public narrative. Now, with the possibility of this case heading back to court, things could get even messier. Meghan's legal team isn't playing, and the restraining order is still active. So what happens when Tory and Meghan are both expected to show up in court again? Yeah, it's about to get real.
Until then, drop your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned. Because the next chapter in this saga, it's coming sooner than you think.